Well, hello everybody, and thanks once more for tuning back in to Classic Dirt Bike TV, and hello to all the brand new subscribers who have recently signed up to my channel. Now, I think that brings our subscriber total to around the 11,250 mark, so thanks very much to you all for your support on that particular matter. Okay, coming up in this next video, we're going to take a look at Raymond Thomson's quite unique 500 Maico twin shocker. Now, this of course is not an original machine, but nevertheless the bike has been personalised by the owner, so I hope you enjoy taking a look at Raymond's machine. So without any further delay, let's just jump straight into the bike. Yes, thanks for joining me again. And now this particular 500 Maico belongs to Scottish rider Raymond Thomson, and these few clips of his machine were captured at the Cumberland Grand National Scramble at Penrith in 2019. Now, Raymond's machine, as you can see here, is not your average run-of-the-mill red Maico, but this bike has been personalised by Raymond himself and has a few quite nice upgrades and other trick parts that have been bolted onto it. Now, as far as I know, the bike is a 1983 model with, of course, the later 500 motor. Now, the frame, the engine and the front forks are all pretty much from 1983, although quite a few of the other parts that went into the build of this very unique race bike have been substituted for some newer upgraded fixings. But this particular Maico is just one of the many German machines that Raymond has in his collection, and we may feature more of his collection in a future video here on my channel, so please look out for that. Now, these 1983 500 Maico power plants were upgraded versions of the mighty 490 Mega 2 from 1981, and these were pretty awesome motors, and they could certainly kick ass on the track if you had the right rider on board the bike, but you had to ride them hard and ride them fast, as these motors were certainly no club racers bikes, because the more abuse you gave them, the more that they liked it. Now, gone of course were those troublesome Maico primary chains, as this newer engine now had more civilised gears to connect the clutch to the crankshaft, so that particular part of this upgraded engine was now virtually maintenance free. Now, a decompressor on this motor is a must to help enable you to kick the engine into life, as of course I learned to my very own cost when I bought my first 440 Maico machine, and I tried to start it with my sneakers on when the big son of a bitch kicked back and nearly broke my foot and left me limping for nearly 4 weeks. So all of you Maico rookies out there, be warned, never start one of these bikes with your sneakers on. Now, once again, the older Bing carburetors been swapped for this more modern Mikuni carb, but a lot of Maico owners still prefer to use the old Bing carburetors because they still do a very good job of vaporizing the fuel, especially when it's fed through these V-Force 3 reed valve blocks. Now, it looks like someone's gone to quite a lot of trouble to design and construct this very nice CNC alloy primary sprocket guard. Now, whether this is another of those Maico only parts, I'm not really sure, although it could still quite easily be a one-off bespoke part. Now, the bike's exhaust expansion chamber is made by Racebase in the UK, who are a very good contact if you're looking for parts or accessories for your old Maicos. because these guys can supply just about everything you need, from Maico frames and swing arms to seat covers and plastics. But just check them out at racebase.co.uk. Now, once again, the bike's front forks are your standard 42mm Maico suspension units, and these were decent enough for the 1980s, and of course were air assisted by adding or removing air from the Schrader valves on the top of each fork leg. Now, these alloy front brake hubs are actually standard Maico hubs that have had the fins machined off and then the alloys been polished and buffed to a nice shine. Now, on the bike's back end, a pair of Dutch-made Reiger piggyback shocks have been bolted on. Now, these are of course not up to the standard of Öhlins, but they're still very good by all accounts. Now, once again, the rear hub has had the same treatment as the front by having those Maico ribs machined off and the alloy polished to a fine shine. Now, both the front and rear wheels are alloy replacements that have had brand new spokes laced onto them, and then of course painted black, which seems to be the colour of choice for motocross machines these days. And also these unique graphics with the Scottish rampant lion are all manufactured by MXM Graphics, who are another excellent contact if you need new or even bespoke graphics made up for any make or model of motocrosser. Now, some of the other parts on this bike are the alloy ignition cover and that very neat looking alloy rear brake pedal, which are made by Maico only, and also these heavy duty and well engineered wide steel foot pegs are once more manufactured by Racebase here in the UK. So there's quite a few nice upgrades there on this part of the bike, and those will certainly complement some of the other nice trick bits and pieces that go into making this a very unique motorcycle. Although with all the different manufacturers out there now producing specialist and even replica parts for these old Maicos, personalising your own 500 or indeed any other Maico machine for that matter has never been easier with what's available these days. And this bike of Raymond's, like it or loathe it, is for me a very nice touch to customise it in his country's national colours. Although, as I mentioned, this example is just one of the many machines in Raymond's compendium of German Maico racers, and possibly sometime in the future we'll maybe take a look at more of his race bikes in a forthcoming video here on Classic Dirt Bike TV. Well, I do hope you enjoyed that little walk around Raymond Thomson's 500 Twinshock Maico. Not of course an original bike, but nevertheless a personalised machine by the owner, and it just goes to show about the many bits and pieces that you can now buy for these old Maicos, and how you can personalise them to suit your own individual needs. Okay, coming up in my next video, we're going to take a look at this quite nice looking HL500 Yamaha that belongs to Gary Fleming. Now, once again, not an original HL Yamaha, but Gary's interpretation of what his particular Yamaha 500 should look like. So I hope you'll rejoin me for that. So until then, thanks very much for all the positive comments that you're leaving on my video content. It's much appreciated, but I do hope you'll join me once more when we all return to talk about these vintage racers right here on Classic Dirt Bike TV.